Farah, I hope you have made an arrangement for the funeral properly.
Yes, I did, Heather. I had numerous meetings with the funeral staff, so I'm sure everything will be fine.
I will never allow any mismanagement at the funeral of my precious son, you know? Do you understand?
Of course I do. I've informed the staff our intentions, so I'm sure everything will be fine.
Just because I got an uncaring wife like you, I had to lose my son like this. What am I going to have to look forward to in my life from now on?
With all due respect, it's not my fault that he passed away. It was a car accident, and there's nothing I could do about it.
It was probably because you were not good enough as a wife. That boy was tired of living every day. I'm sure it was mental exhaustion that brought on the accident. I'm sure that's what happened.
Heather, that is a terrible accusation, isn't it? He was trying to go to his friend's house and got into an accident, remember? And if he hadn't gone out that day, it wouldn't have happened. He went out on his own and got into an accident.
Then, if you had kept him back in the apartment, this wouldn't have happened. You didn't have the charm to keep him there, did you?
I'm sorry to hear you say that. I didn't think this would happen either.
That's why you're not good enough as a wife. I only regret that I allowed you to marry my son.
Oh no. Heather, that is a terrible thing to say.
At least give him a proper funeral without any mistakes. I want to give him a peaceful funeral.
Yes, I'll do that.
Farah?
I just heard from my mother. I'm sorry. I feel like my mother misses the point at a time like this. As you know, she is the kind of person who can misunderstand stuff. Hi, Kristen. It's true that what she said to me was so outrageous, and I was surprised, but don't worry about it. I'm used to it. Right. Her arrogant behavior has bothered our family for a long time. My father and I are fed up with it. We've had our share of problems with her. But I want my brother's funeral be good without a problem. I know it's a lot of work, but please take care of it. Of course. If there's anything I can do, please let me know. Thank you, but I'm sure the staff will take care of most of it. Thank you for your concern.
Farah, can I have a word with you?
Hi, Heather. What is it?
There's something I need to tell you about my son's inheritance.
About his inheritance?
Yes. My son worked for a well-known company, and he's been saving money diligently since he was young. I believe he left a lot of his inheritance to me.
To you?
Of course. I'm his mother.
That's true, but...
So, I heard about you and Kevin before he passed away. There was no love between you two, was there?
Well...
According to my son, you guys were on the verge of divorce.
Well, something like that.
If that's the case, my son's inheritance is all mine.
What?
If you were thinking about divorce, you were as good as a stranger. Why would I give you my precious son's inheritance?
Do you even know about the reason for the divorce?
I don't need to ask. It's because you are not a good wife, isn't it? That's what my son told me. You have no right to my son's inheritance. Leave everything and get out of that apartment.
What? You mean you want me to leave this apartment?
Of course. That apartment was purchased by my son. The name and the payment were in his name. It's his property, isn't it?
I don't understand what you're asking me to do so suddenly. I have my own life, and I can't just leave like that.
You can't talk back to me like that. I'm his mother. I'm fully entitled to that apartment.
What? Is it really?
It's pretty obvious, isn't it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Stop messing around. Just pack your stuff and leave right away. Either way, you were supposed to get divorced and move out of that apartment, right?
Well, yes, but there's still a few more days until the end of the contract of the apartment.
Huh?
Well, I guess you can live in here for a few more days.
What are you saying? That doesn't make any sense.
I'll let the real estate agent know that you will be here. Please vacate the apartment in a few days.
Huh? Are you out of your mind?
Hey, Farah. Can I talk to you now? Sure. Thank you so much for your help with my brother's funeral. I was really grateful to you, Farah. My brother and I went through a lot, but you took such good care. I can't thank you enough. Thank you for saying that. But more than that, my mother seems to be acting wrong again. Well, I got kicked out of the apartment. I think she's living in there. I knew it. My mother is so upset about the inheritance. She won't listen to me. My father's having a hard time with it. I can imagine. Well, I was planning to leave the apartment within a few days anyway. I've already moved all the necessary belongings in the trunk. I don't mind at all that she kicked me out. Actually, there's something I'd like to discuss with you. Okay. About my mother, of course. I'd like to discuss various things about the future with you. Could we meet sometimes? Of course, that's totally fine. Good.
Hey, what's this all about? I just got evicted by the real estate agent.
Well, I guess you're the one who has to leave.
Huh?
I told you, didn't I, that the eviction date is coming up.
And why is this apartment in your name? Did you lie to me?
What? Didn't Kevin tell you?
What?
You knew we were getting a divorce, right?
So what? What's that got to do with the apartment being in your name?
In the first place, did you know the reason why Kevin and I got divorced?
That's because you weren't good enough as a wife for him, wasn't it? That's pretty obvious.
That's where you misunderstood.
Huh?
He had been cheating on me for over a year now. That day he passed away, he was on his way to the other woman's house.
What?
Yes. It seems he fell for the wrong woman. He was giving her a lot of money without my knowledge.
What?
When I found out, I was devastated.
What do you mean?
Ever since we got married, we opened a joint account and kept saving for the future. We had about $100,000 saved up. But I noticed one day that the number was only 3 figures.
Huh? $100,000? That's not true. You were making up a story just because he passed away. What kind of person are you?
I'm not making this up. I've already checked the account. Your son paid everything to the woman behind my back.
There is no way my son would have done that.
I should have asked for the money back. But I didn't want to get into trouble in court, and I wanted to get rid of your son as soon as possible. As a result of our discussion, I decided to take the apartment and all the household goods. Well, I guess you could say that's my consolation money.
No way.
At that time, I changed the name of the apartment to mine. Of course, your son agreed to it.
Oh no.
Although, I had no intention of living in that apartment anymore, so I decided to sell it right away. The real estate agent who visited you helped me out a lot. He was very generous and considerate.
That's impossible. How could you sell the apartment that my son had purchased without consulting me? If it had stayed, it would have been his memento.
But it's not my fault. It was your son who was cheating on me. If your son had not spent so much money on women, this would not have happened. So your son got what he deserved.
So it's the fault of the woman who cheated on you? Who is that woman?
Huh? Weren't you the one who introduced her?
What?
Your son told me about it.
What? What do you mean?
You wanted your son and me to get divorced for a long time, didn't you?
That's because you're so incompetent. If you were a wife like that, wouldn't everyone think so?
So you arranged a blind date for your married son, just because of that reason.
What? How did you know?
He told me everything.
What?
You proposed an arranged marriage in order to get us divorced. And he went along with it. Isn't that right?
Well, yes, but that blind date was just for the occasion.
What kind of mother would let her married son go on a blind date? When I found out, I was speechless.
Oh.
You thought the blind date had failed, didn't you?
Yes, that's why I was trying to think of a different way.
Huh? You were still plotting something?
Plotting is a terrible word.
Well, that's what you were doing. You were sneaking around trying to get me divorced.
It's because you were not a good wife.
Let's not change the subject. He didn't break up with the woman you arranged the marriage with.
What?
Your son had exchanged contact information with her without telling you.
Was that so? Why would he do that without telling me?
Perhaps he didn't want you to interfere.
What?
He told me before. He said you're annoying because you get involved in every single thing he does.
That's a lie. That honest and obedient son would never say such a thing.
But you didn't know that he was actually seeing a woman on an arranged marriage, did you?
No, but...
It seems she was an extraordinary person.
What do you mean?
Fine dinners, luxury brand fashions and accessories, and even luxury cruise trips.
What? She was very quiet and elegant.
I think you're looking at it all wrong. It seems that once she started dating your son, she began to show her true side. In fact, he has contributed about $100,000 to her. It's appalling.
Oh no.
And since he did not leave any will, the legal heirs will inherit his properties.
I know. I told you that I am entitled to my son's legacy as well.
You seem to be making a big mistake. The only legal heir is his wife, me.
Huh? Oh no.
But as I told you, your son has contributed everything to the woman he had an affair with. There's nothing that can be called property.
How could it be? He had been saving steadily since he was young, so he must have a considerable amount of money.
He seems to have given all his savings to that woman.
That's a lie. You're just saying that to get everything, aren't you?
If you think I'm lying, shall I show you our bank account? Because the evidence is well documented. If you still don't agree with me, you can file a lawsuit. We have solid proof of his affair too, you know.
What?
It's all on your son's phone.
Oh no. That's enough. Enough.
Okay, I understand. Then, as the real estate agent told you, please leave that apartment immediately.
Farah, reply to my text or call me.
What is it? I'm working today.
Where do you live now, Farah?
Why?
You are my daughter-in-law, so you are obligated to support me, right? That's why I thought I'd go to your place. I was kicked out of my apartment because of you.
Why is it my fault? The apartment was in my name. I was free to do whatever I wanted. You have no right to tell me what to do with it.
Even if you sell the apartment, you are still obligated to support me.
Huh? I have no obligation to support you because I have nothing to do with you anymore.
You are my daughter-in-law.
The other day, I submitted a notice of termination of marital relations to the city office.
What is that?
It is a procedure to legally sever the relationship of a deceased spouse. Now that I've completed the procedure, you and I have nothing to do with each other.
What?
Therefore, I am not obligated to support you at all.
Oh no. Then how do you expect me to live from now on?
You have to think by yourself, don't you?
Huh?
I heard from Kristen. I heard you are divorced.
She told you that?
Kristen and your husband have been troubled by your behavior for a long time.
What?
You are selfish and only interested in money. Your arrogant attitude towards others has been bothering them.
She said that?
Yes. And after this incident, your husband has decided to divorce you. You set your married son up on a blind date. And if that had been successful, you would have made him divorce me and demand alimony. Right?
That's not true.
Furthermore, after he passed away, you were going to kick me out and live a life of luxury in that apartment. When your husband found out the truth, he decided to divorce you. He said he couldn't live with someone who doesn't understand other people's feelings and the importance of money.
What? That's impossible.
I heard that you had used up all the savings. What on earth did you spend the money on?
Well, I got a little addicted to horse racing. At first, I went along with a friend of mine just for fun. But it turned out to be more fun than I expected, and I couldn't stop. I just couldn't stop.
So you even used the family savings?
That's what happened.
No wonder your husband is so disgusted with you.
So, I didn't even get a share of the property. He told me to be thankful he didn't charge me for all the money I'd spent.
Of course.
I have no house, no money. I can't live like this.
You have to help me. You were my daughter-in-law and I was your mother-in-law. You must have at least a little compassion for me.
There's no such thing. Remember you said you're not a good wife? Why did he get such a wife? You can divorce my son anytime you want. You've been bullying me for years. And who do you think you are asking me to help you?
I was young, so I just got carried away, you know.
Huh?
If you say you won't help me, I'll ask Kristen to help me.
She has been both embarrassed and disgusted by your abusive words and actions. That's why she said she would break off the relationship with you.
What? Is that true?
Yes. I am sure of it because I have met and talked with her directly.
Then there is no one to help me.
That's what I'm saying, isn't it? But don't you deserve it? You've done so much.
Oh no.
From now on, please live on your own. And think about how happy you had been so far. I think you will understand how much you have to be thankful to your family. Life is a lifelong study, isn't it?
No, I don't need that kind of study at my age. Instead, think of a way to help me.
Don't be ridiculous. I told you already, didn't I? You and I are strangers now, okay? Why should I help you? It will never happen. Please do not contact me at all in the future.
Farah, don't be so cold. I'm really in trouble.
That's none of my business. If you contact me again, I will report you to the police without hesitation. Remember that.
Farah, are you really that cold? I can't believe it.
Say whatever you want. You and I are strangers.
Wait, I take back what I just said. Please, help me. Farah.
After that, it seems that Heather begged Kristen for help. She was not taken seriously at all and was coldly treated and turned away. Her ex-husband was so furious that he divorced her and never contacted her again. She had no house, no money, and was left all alone, so she had no choice but to return to her parents for help. But since her ex-husband had already told them everything, she was turned away as well. She's now working in a factory and living lonely in a dormitory. I hope that by working diligently and spending time alone, she will reflect on what she has said and done. I was able to sell my apartment without a problem. I used the money to buy a new apartment. Even though it is quite old, it is in a convenient location. I can commute to work and go shopping without any inconvenience. From now on, I would like to devote myself to my work and save up for the time being.